You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy vault your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
So you always know, I know there are words that I can't express on a podcast on how cold it is right now in the state of Maine on May 18th. Let's just go there.
But I was so stupid yesterday and I took the tops off the Jeep.
Why would you do that?
I messed up.
Any of that until after Memorial Day.
Well, you want to know why? Because I looked at the Weather Channel and guess what I saw for a number. Like, throw a number out there. If
76.
Yeah, guess where my phone was still thinking it was? Austin.
Oh, so locations?
Yeah, so my location did an update for some reason. Or you know how you can have multiple cities and states?
Yep.
I was on the wrong screen because I looked at my husband and I said, can you help me take off the freedom panels? And he was like, all right. I looked homeless driving to the office yesterday.
Well, I think it's even funnier that he didn't question you.
He was like confused. And I was like, if you
didn't question you.
He goes, if you don't have time, I was like, I'll do it. If you don't have time, you're stronger. And it takes you 2 minutes. It takes me 10. So he goes, yeah, I'll take it off. And he went out shirtless, and did it. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be a great day. So I get my coffee. I'm driving to the highway. And I was like, I messed up. I should have got a hot coffee. And I messed up so bad. So I had the heat cranked. And, oh my God, I walked out of the house and I put a bag with my shoes and socks right there because I wore flip-flops. Forgot my bag with my shoes and my socks. So my toes were like,
I know, I'm actually wearing sneakers.
I'm not. I will be in flip-flops for the rest of the time now. And then, so this is me. I've got a hat on, my sunglasses on, the hood on, and I've got that hoodie you're wearing tied and pulled around my chin. I look ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, I was warm enough. Yes. So, but you know what? I'm usually always cold. So it doesn't matter. But yesterday I learned a lesson. So Matt's going to help me put the freedom panels back on tonight.
Yeah, because it's supposed to rain up here on Saturday.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain all day Saturday as well,
and too. It's not supposed to be ridiculous. Although I can't remember I did look at some town that's going to be 75, 80, but it wasn't here in Maine. It's like, I need to go put myself over there.
It is not fun.
Yeah. Well, it's, the journey of the camper van in 2 years, right? Like that's my next big goal in life. Because the winter, see ya. And we're so blessed that we could do whatever from wherever.
Yeah, but I'm cold and I don't like it.
All right. Well, so thinking topics, I was thinking, so we'll go back. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the gap in the gain. The blessing of driving to Boston so much as I listened to it and twice during that journey. And there was a great conversation piece, but you raised your hand. So what did you want to say?
Oh, let's talk opportunities after.
Okay. Yeah. So here is my I had two huge takeaways. My first takeaway is when you measure backwards, don't measure forwards.
Yeah, because it's gone. It's in the past.
Well, and like my net worth goal is a really
aggressive
goal. I may or may not hit. However, if I always am judging myself and criticizing myself and giving myself negative thoughts because I haven't reached that number, when's the last time you looked back and said, wow, look at everything that I've accomplished over the last 90 days, 1 year, 3 years, 10 years?
Right. we don't do those. It's so hard to I just am not good at pats on the back. I'm not, even if we do hit goals, I'm so forward focused that I don't take time. And you've asked me things like this, and we've asked other people. I don't take time to celebrate the goals I hit. You and I've been in so many situations where you've asked people, what are you going to do to celebrate when you cap? And they're like, go to the next thing. And that's like, right. And you're like, no, you're going to take yourself out to dinner.
Well, and it's true. Like, so I was in the Portland, Maine leadership with Brad Knowles, and he used to get so frustrated with us because we would spend 1 minute celebrating and 59 minutes solving the next set of problems. And he was like, you should be spending 59 minutes celebrating and 1 minute looking, okay, next week, what are all? The world would be a happier place.
A little bit of both. I don't enjoy, I don't know. I'm just not good at great. It's done. We hit it. What's next? You know, and I've always been that way. It used to drive my parents insane because with the ADHD too, growing up, I would hyper focus on something to the point where it would almost make me ill until I finished something. Like, because I couldn't let it go. I was not medicated at the time. So then my mom would be like, you're racing towards something, you hit the goal, and then you just start another race. She's like, you don't even like celebrate, get on the trophy stand. She's like, you just another race.
Yeah.
Some personalities look like that.
That's fantastic and great. And if you could change 2%, I mean, and I consider us happy. Like
I'm very.
And yet, what would it look like if we celebrated a little more? The second takeaway, which was like the last chapter of the book, which should be the first chapter of the book, was all about whether we like it or not, we have trauma in our life. Like,
my God, we are all broken humans.
Yeah. Your life is perfect. You don't like, let's just talk about COVID was 3 years ago, right? And everything that happened with COVID. So at the end, he was talking, whether it be trauma or your past history, the story you give it is not the reality. It's the perception that you put on that story. So, you know, if something negative happened in the world, and I'll go dark for a second and say, like, I lost my mom at 27, right? Like, that was a very traumatic point in my life. And for the longest time,
right,
it was very negative. However, if you could figure out how to take that trauma and change the conversation you're having in your head and try to pinpoint what were the greats versus all of the negatives, it does something to you.
It does. And it's, you know, my mom was one of those people who she's still here. She's one of those people who doesn't sweat the small stuff. Mm-hmm. I grew up like that. It was more important to hang out with us than make sure the house was immaculate right after dinner. Mm-hmm. Dishes can wait, the kids cannot. Like, that was, and that's how I live by. And because she never let anything get in the way of regular life, there is no obstacle they couldn't tackle together as a family, right? Her, my dad, and us as a family. So we're happy, grew up happy. My kids are happy. Our lives are happy, because there's nothing that's truly not workable. It's just obstacles, right? And they're movable. They are absolutely movable.
Yeah. And see, my world, I don't sweat the big stuff because I'm a problem solver. So give me the biggest problem on the planet, and I'm going to go tackle it head on. Those little things, like the sock that they left on the floor, takes me from 0 to 100 in 30 seconds.
Yeah. And that's my husband. Yeah. Like, he does. And I was like, but so you're going to let a sock on the floor bring you from 0 to 1,000. Yep. How does this matter?
Yeah. But when Jess got sick and I had that all managed, and there wasn't 0 to 100, because, you know, so when we look at, and it's funny because now, I mean, granted, I'm starting my journey towards empty nester and my youngest is 15, but even Chris has noticed the difference of you're not going to freak out over that? I was like, no, life's too short.
Right.
And what are we instilling in our children? Like our bad habits, they're watching. It's not do as I say, do as I say, not as I do. Like they're going to do what you do, whether you like it or not.
They can. And trauma doesn't also mean people, worst case scenarios. I think when people think of the word trauma, when they're certain demographics, one, they discount it. Like my kids, they understand what trauma is. Some people think of it medically as, you lost a limb or this or that. It could be anything that negatively impacted your life that makes it so that you think in a way you shouldn't. Right? It's a limiting belief, and it's that drunk monkey on your shoulder.
Yep.
And what I've found, especially some with what my husband does, and when he teaches PTSD for providers all over New England, is that nobody has ever been told it's okay to deal with trauma or talk about it. And I love the world we live in right now because mental and emotional health, social health is like up here, right? Everybody's talking about it. There's so many more ways to get support that you need. So it makes me very, very happy. But the good old boys world that my husband was in, the firemen, they don't talk about the trauma they see. It weighs on them and it comes out in life.
Yep.
The things that I know when my husband's had a bad day on the job, because he'll come home and has a look to him that he's empty. Yep. Right. And he's trying to process things. And I say, do you need to talk about it or do you need to internalize it? That's it.
Well, yeah. And, social media, blessing and a curse. These days, I feel more of a curse than a blessing. I look at some of the stuff that gets shared and then the comments, like if we just all took 5 minutes to say, your version of those events is your version and those version of my events is my version, and they're not wrong.
If you're going to social media and being a keyboard warrior and calling someone stupid, you have other problems. My biggest pet peeve in life is when people take to Facebook groups and social media and attack people they barely know or know because they feel their opinion is more valid than anyone else's. It's why I go bananas and get so mad when people take to Facebook groups to get answers solved when you are only getting opinion of someone, and the amount of misinformation that gets thrown around is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, this morning I dropped Chris off, and that's usually when I spend time on Facebook, and I read something and like the drama behind what I read, and literally in less than 30 seconds I came up with a great solution for it. And I was gonna keyboard warrior the solution. I was like, no, that's not what I need to do. So eventually when I have time, I'll shoot off an email to the powers to be and say, hey, have you thought about this? This may help the whole situation.
I find myself doing a lot of that. I find that instead of commenting, I'm picking up the phone and calling someone and saying, I saw online that you're getting a lot of information that may not help you. I would love to understand the problem more to try to get a resolution.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who don't go to the source of information to get information infuriates me. We have places in our world that if you type 2 words into a search, you will get your answer almost immediately. Almost nothing in our world goes down. There are very rare, they're true problems or errors. It could be solved so fast, but instead they go to the interwebs, they go on social media, they post their question when a quick call or going to the people or going to the right source would give you the factual piece first. You know what people want? They want other people, misery wants company, to complain that this is hard.
Yeah.
I'm over that part of my life.
Well, and it's great that you're over it. And how are you the solution? And what you said was exactly it. You picked up the phone, made the phone call and said, instead of going back and forth and getting misinformation, what exactly is the problem? How can I get you the resources?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going through that right now. Like, we got a summary of something that's going to come into place. It's literally a summary that hasn't even been defined yet. And people are making comments and they don't even have all the information, which won't even be out for another month. But yet,
insane.
and let's just talk about, and I'm soapbox moment, spend that time and energy growing your business, because I know that average business is down across the board. More than likely, all of these keyboard warriors that are having these heated conversations could probably spend that time and energy building their business.
Imagine if they put that focus and passion and fire into their world.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people who are commenting on the things we're talking about, I pulled their numbers. It's public data. Right? Like, you should be worried about other things.
Well, and here's the deal, in the absence of money, right? In the absence of success, in the absence of reaching your goals, where do people go? Right? So, and it's and I think I said this on yesterday's call, right? It's will the action I'm about to take move the boat forward?
Right.
Period. Like, if everybody just literally said, never mind your personal boat, will it move the world forward?
And what I love about all these things on social media is most of them, people don't have all the information.
No.
It's hearsay. It's what ifs. They're making problems when there were none.
Well, and here's the other piece of it. People are going to make life-changing decisions based on half information that's not accurate, that is not full, that may not even come into play. And this isn't specific to, this is like across the board. Across the board. It's not just real estate. It's not just company. It's across the board.
Life.
Yeah. Like school.
Mm-hmm.
Per Jessica, and we've had a very traumatic life. Jessica almost died twice and she's 19 years old, right? Like, legit. This kid said to me, hey, I just don't want to keep going. I want to take a 5-minute break and figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. Can I take a year off from college? Absolutely.
Yes.
Here's the deal though. She should have went back to school in August if she went to college. By, where are we? We're in May. By January, she was in school, accomplished a goal, moving on. Had I forced her to go to school, that probably wouldn't have happened. She probably would have been miserable. She probably wouldn't have learned life lessons that she should have learned. And there's a kid, same age, parents did the complete opposite I did. And I just sent, and they're upset with me because I let my child do it. And now their child wants it. But first off, they're 18. And second off, I'd rather them make mistakes now. I'd rather them make mistakes.
Right.
Because when you make mistakes, you either win or you learn. I mean,
Correct.
It's, and I don't know. I think we all just need to take a 5-minute break and process and think of what do we desire our little piece of the grass, the green grass, to look like. And if everybody just focused on that, that grass would continue to grow and life would get better. Just saying.
Well, go be a little kind today.
Yeah, be kind. People are going through stuff we don't know.
We don't know. Just be a little sunshine. Hold the door. It doesn't take much. Kindness is free. Always said that.
And when you're going to make a decision, ask the question, the decision that I'm going to make, is it going to move the boat forward? And if it's not, work through the self-control.
Self-control.
See you later, my friend.
Later.